As we move into our later years, our nutritional needs shift profoundly. Meat and potatoes on their own just isn't good enough.
How come you have to ruin my life
I
like
know.
this? I grew up on meat and potatoes, and maybe you did too. But listen,
You can
over
still eat
time,
them.
I know, but not like I used to. Over time, our bodies evolve, for sure. And so should our diet, because we want to maintain vitality and health
Right.
as we get older. And we need a diet that's not just meat and potatoes, but it's rich in quantity and life-sustaining quality. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a big task.
I know.
You know, ignoring any dietary changes can lead to serious health issues, may even diminish the quality of your golden years.
And if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but rather lifestyle, health, relationships, and more.
So please hit the subscribe button and the notification button. That way you get notified when our videos come out. And more importantly for us, if you can share this with someone you care about who's on their retirement journey, we would really appreciate that. So you have a story?
Well, you know, I was thinking about, when we retired and we kept the same lifestyle eating that we had all through our careers, taking people out to big steak dinners, and not that I'm against red meat, but really eating quantities of food that started to not work for us.
Well, you made the move before I did to start using a smaller plate,
Right?
and I always had the big plate. But you always were a better eater than I was. I mean, I think back on my parents and me growing up, I was in meat and potatoes, and it was comfort food. And I still go back to comfort food once in a while, but I've been off of it for so long that I feel differently when I eat that. We hardly ever eat steak. Our
Right.
doctor says you should,
Yeah.
so we eat some, but,
Yeah.
and you might be thinking that you're retired, you should be able to eat what you want. And that's a choice that you have to make. It's a choice we make every day.
Right.
And you can eat what you want. But I just want to challenge you. We want to challenge you that it really might cut your life short. And is that what you want? Or do you want to live longer and healthier? Because that's really what we want to talk about today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what we mean.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
About what we mean about eating healthy.
So eating healthy is, I would say, for me, smaller quantities.
Right.
Lean food. We eat a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, less red meat, less pork, less, gravies and mashed potatoes and things like that.
We also read a study that the more colorful your plate is,
That's right.
the better it can be for you, right? So you have some dark leafy greens, you have some red, peppers, then you have some carrots, and, as colorful as you can make the plate, the better.
Yeah. Now, before we jump into the 10 foods that you should be eating, I want to remind you we have some really great downloadable documents for free. And the one that's in the link below is the Downsizing Dilemma document. Check that one out. I think if you haven't seen it yet, it really will inspire you to think about this topic of downsizing again. But what are the 10 foods?
Okay, well,
the first one.
The first one, I mentioned is just a leafy green, rich in vitamins A and C and E and K. Provides you some good fiber that we all need as we age, promoting our digestive health. Contains some antioxidants that support, your eye health, and might even, be able to help you reduce some chronic diseases. And they're easy to incorporate.
So
My pop laughs because it's like we are the kale generation. And, my pop owned a big deli in Philadelphia, and, kale was the stuff you put on the plate. Nobody ever ate it.
It was decoration.
It was decoration.
Yeah.
So whenever he comes, and if I have, kale in the fridge that I've massaged with some oils and a little bit of salt to try to break it down a little, he just laughs. But that's a great leafy green.
It is, and we're much better at having salads at lunch, sometimes salads at dinner. Our naturopath doctor tells us that we should eat 8 cups of vegetables a day. That is a lot. But if you fill up a cup, you can get like 3 cups of leafy greens if you have a salad this big. Does that count?
Well,
maybe not.
I think it does.
Leafy greens are good. Yeah. Having salads, or you could put it, you know what, if you don't want to eat salads, put it into a smoothie.
Right.
If you're not eating a smoothie every day with a little bit of extra protein, that's something you want to think about doing, because as we get older, we need more protein. Now, the second food that we all should be eating is whole grains. And that doesn't mean whole grains that are bread. It really means whole grains such as quinoa, barley, oats. For breakfast every day now, I have steel cut oats.
Right.
And I really have enjoyed
My
that.
brother turned you on to that.
He did.
You have to give Michael a shout
Well,
out.
Michael lost 20 pounds, lowered his cholesterol, and got off of the cholesterol meds.
And he swears it's all about the oatmeal.
Yeah.
He really does.
But there's B vitamin in there. There's great fiber that helps you go to the bathroom. Did I just say that?
You did.
And minerals. And, it's going to help you with your weight and your digestion.
Right.
What else does it do?
I think with Michael's case, his doctor was telling him how it promoted him to be heart healthy.
Yep.
Right? So it helps with heart disease if you have that in your family or if that's something that you worry about.
So for us growing up, it was mashed potatoes or baked potatoes or French fries. Now you and I will have quinoa a lot.
I love quinoa.
And some rice. But quinoa, we really are putting some vegetables in it so you can get more vegetables that way.
Right. And I actually do a cold quinoa salad with cucumbers and tomatoes and a little bit of garbanzo beans. Put it in the refrigerator, and when my kids are here, they take a cup of it, just midday or mid-afternoon.
Well,
and that's a really healthy kind of snack, as opposed to grabbing the chips or something.
It is. And you know what? We really should find that recipe and put it up
Okay,
because that is a good way to start eating some oats or whole grains. Because if you're not now, I know it's hard to make that switch. But the other food that we all should be eating more of is fatty fish. And I love salmon. Trout. I don't really like mackerel, but we eat a lot of.
I've never had mackerel.
Yeah, it's kind of a fishy fish, but salmon is a great omega-3 fatty fish that's good for your brain and your heart, and it also helps reduce inflammation.
I noticed that because if I hit yoga 4 or 5 days a week and my left hip, I don't know what's going on with my left hip, but if we have salmon one night, and I don't drink wine because I think wine makes the inflammation.
Yeah.
But the salmon definitely helps. I can definitely feel the difference.
And salmon for me, if you guys like to barbecue, this was a good way to start it. You get the wooden planks.
Oh yeah.
And you can either blacken the salmon or just put some kind of seasonings on it you like, and you put the plank right on top of the grill, close the lid, and I'm telling you, it's done in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you love
so,
that.
So it really is good. The kids like it too.
Yeah, they do. Okay, the next item, number 4, would be berries. They're packed with antioxidants and vitamins. They really help you with your cognitive function. They're low in calories. Some people would say higher in sugars, but really the raspberries and the blueberries specifically are pretty good on the sugar side as well. They also have some fiber. So they're pretty versatile.
So they help you go to the bathroom too?
Yes.
Great.
I know our grandson Luca will take his raspberries and put one on each finger.
Yeah.
And then eat them off his finger. I'm not suggesting you have to do that, but they are versatile. You can use them for snacks, put them over some yogurt or some frozen yogurt for dessert, or even put them in a smoothie again.
Yeah.
So.
And for me, again, my breakfast 4 days a week, 5 days a week, because I fast 2 days, is still cut oats, some nuts on top, and then berries, which really is great.
Right. The next thing is nuts. That was a great segue.
Nuts and seeds.
Nuts and seeds. Great source of healthy fats, proteins, and fiber. They do lower your risk of heart disease and diabetes, and there's a lot of choices, almonds and chia seeds and flax seeds and so many choices. And they're easy to store, a quick zip or a Ziploc bag or a little bit of Tupperware. They last for a long time.
Yeah. This next one I love because this is easy. So this might be an easy change to start eating some foods as we get older, because it's easy to bring in chicken and turkey, low protein meats. And you really need this for
You mean
muscle.
lean protein meats.
Lean. What did
High
I say?
protein.
Mean?
You said low.
Lean. No fat. You shouldn't eat
Lean.
chicken. Listen, you shouldn't eat chicken and turkey skin anymore. You should eat the.
Well, you love that.
Well, not anymore. I'm really good at taking it off.
Yeah.
So just the chicken. I prefer dark meat. Jody likes the white.
I do.
But you need this for muscle maintenance and repair. It's lower in fat and calories compared to a lot of red meat. So that's really important. And you have to cook this. You can't overcook it.
Right.
It's so easy. So many people overcook chicken and then they don't want to eat it because it's dried out.
Yeah.
So
the kids do that. They'll call us and say, "Why can't I make chicken like Mark?" And I think they just overcook.
And there's so many different ways to prepare
Yeah.
it. So
the 7th thing is calcium-rich foods, or they can be dairy or plant-based. There's tons of plant-based alternatives, but for us as we age, it's crucial for our bone health. That includes things like yogurt and cheeses and fortified plant milks. Any type of calcium-rich food to get the vitamin D to build the bones is important.
And I'm not good here because I don't drink milk, I don't do yogurt, I don't do cheese. So
Right.
I struggle here, but
You
I
do.
do take some supplements to help with that.
You do.
but-
You take a vitamin D with K, I think, don't
Yeah,
you?
I
D3
do.
with K.
But here's one that actually is new for me, and that I think you should think about. The name is weird, legumes. When I first heard that probably 5 years ago, like, what are those? But it's beans and lentils, and these are such a great source of protein and fiber. And for people who are vegetarians, this is the basis for what they really eat, and it's really good because it is heart healthy, stabilizes blood sugar, and there's so many different things that you can do to prepare these things. But I love beans now.
I
In
actually
salads, in our meals.
I actually believe beans are one of those things you have to know your body on, because there is the whole controversy over the nightshades, the nightshade vegetables and some of the beans, in terms of your gut health.
Yeah.
For me, I could live on beans. I mean, I could absolutely live on beans, but I do know people who struggle with beans.
Do you
because of
remember? Do you remember
nightshades.
growing up? Did your dad tell you the poem about beans?
No, we're not going to do that.
Beans are good for your heart. I remember. You guys all remember that. I grew up with that.
The ninth
I
one.
can't say the rest of it? All
the
right.
ninth one we're going to talk about are, can you say this word?
No.
Cruciferous vegetables,
No.
broccoli, cauliflower. They're high in fiber and vitamins. They have some cancer-fighting compounds in them. There's amazing ways to cook. I don't know if you guys have an air fryer now, but all our kids, broccoli and cauliflower,
Yeah.
all goes in the air fryer.
And we do that with what kind of garlic, or you toss the broccoli or cauliflower
With a
in a
little
bowl,
cumin.
little bit of olive oil, a little bit of cumin,
Yeah.
a little bit of garlic
Some
powder,
red pepper flakes.
red pepper flakes, and then put it in the. We should do a cooking show.
We should. We would
Cook
put it in the air fryer.
It's really great.
Yeah.
It comes out good. All right.
I sometimes just like it steamed and plain.
We do that
I know
a lot.
you don't love
Well,
that,
it's
but
okay.
I actually like
Well,
it that way, too.
we do 3 vegetables with every dinner.
Yeah.
We have a protein and 3 vegetables.
Right.
So the last one, probably not the most important, but one that might seem like, why do you even mention this? But it's hydrating yourself.
I think it's the most important.
Well,
we're going to do a whole thing on hydration.
we are actually filming that today too. Water, herbal teas. You need to have half your body weight in water every single day.
In ounces.
So, in ounces. So for me, can I reveal my weight?
Sure.
No, I'm not. But I need 80 ounces of water.
Do the math.
80 ounces of water every day.
Right.
And I sometimes, I've got my big jug here that I put in my glass, and I try to drink all day long. So it really, really is important.
I know some of these foods may be a little bit foreign, or maybe you're just not that excited about them, but I'm imploring you to bring them into your diet.
And start bringing these foods into your daily diet, like Jody just said, because you're going to have a healthier, more vibrant aging process. And do us a favor. If you've got some favorite recipes that include any of these 10 that we just talked about, except for water, there's no recipe for that.
Well, some people might
Put
have
it in
their...
the comments below. We'd love to be able to have our viewers hear some about your comments. Now, if you like this video, you're going to love this next one. It's called The Myths About Aging. We're separating fact from fiction, and we really debunk some preconceived ideas about aging. So watch this one next.